So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go on a complaints fast, us and our clients. We are going to completely remove complaining from our life for an entire week. So I've got a task for you to give your clients, right? This is just it's like a small exercise, but it's an exercise that had a dramatic effect on my life. And I give this exercise to every single one of my clients without fail. So what I want you to do, and do this for yourself as well, right? Honestly, do this for yourself. This is something that genuinely is actually very difficult, in all honesty. When you hear this, what I'm about to say, there will be a moment where you'll stop and think, I'm not going to assume what it is you're thinking, but I know when I first heard this, there were elements where I thought, well, that seems really easy. Then I started to question it and thought, well, actually, hang on a minute, I think that I might have a bit of a problem with this. And then I started to question whether or not it would be useful or whether or not there's any point to it. Who knows, right? There's lots of different things that go through people's heads when I first give them this task, but I genuinely love this task, especially because it had such a dramatic effect on my life and my clients. They don't like it at first. So I must warn you, when you give this to your clients, they won't like it at first, but it is actually really good. So you're going to put your clients on a complaints fast. So in the same way that people would fast, right, in terms of like not eating for a day, right, if I'm gonna fast for a day or whatever, what we're going to do is we're going to fast complaints. So we are going to go without complaints for a week, right, an entire week. Now you might hear that and think, there's gonna be some of you that think, oh my God, that's gonna be really difficult. And there's some of you that thinks, oh, come on, easy peasy. But I promise you that it will actually be quite challenging. But your mindset will thank you. I promise your mindset will thank you. Complaining is a very unusual thing. There's a few different facets to complaining. There's a few different elements to it. Now, when I say that you are going to go on a complaints fast for a week and you're going to put your clients on a complaints fast, that doesn't mean that I'm asking you to tolerate something that should not be tolerated. Let's say, for instance, you're being bullied at work. Now, that's not something that should be tolerated. And I'm not saying that midway through the complaints fast, you don't mention it because you're on this complaints fast. The complaints fast is all about refraining from complaining about those things, and you could recognize that you're complaining, right? And we all do it because we're all human. We all have a complaint, we all have a moan, we all have a whine, we all have a whinge, but it actually drains our energy like you wouldn't believe. And not only does it drain our energy and use our energy, but it creates a negative energy as well around us. I've got a really funny example of this, right? And I couldn't believe it when this was happening. Probably a year or just over a year. Me and my wife, we went on a 2-week Caribbean cruise, right? I loved it. I just loved everything about it. It's like I'm in the middle of the Caribbean. The food is really great. The drinks are delicious. The islands are gorgeous. The people are amazing. Everyone's so welcoming. The ship was incredible. And you just could not get me down, right? You couldn't get me down no matter how hard you tried. I was in the middle of the Caribbean for 2 weeks. This was like a dream come true for me. And it's really funny because on a cruise ship, it's like almost like tower blocks, right? You have these elevators and there's about 10, 15 floors because these ships are so huge. And every single time I got into the elevator and I was with a group of people, every single time that elevator stopped on a floor, everyone collectively just went, oh, can't believe it. Oh, these lifts are so slow. Oh, this elevator's so slow. Oh, the food's not very good. Oh, the drinks aren't very good, are they? Oh, the weather's not great today. Oh, the sun went in for 20 minutes. And I'm sitting there thinking, nope, I'm not engaging. I don't care how much you bait me to get engaged with this. I don't care how it's the done thing, because people have this kind of collective sense of negativity and it's become this really lazy way of communicating with each other, just having a bit of a whinge. I was the awkward one because I was the one that was just like, I'm not getting involved with this. Like, I'm not going to moan, I'm not going to complain. I'd put myself on a complaints fast, not that I'd even needed it because I was in the Caribbean. But what's really interesting is when you are the one that makes the conscious decision not to complain, in many respects, you're the odd one out. You really are the odd one out because, like I'd mentioned before, there has been this really interesting thing. People sort of engage in this collective consciousness of negativity. It's a very, very easy way to communicate with people. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that when you meet someone, it's so much easier to go, oh, weather's not very good today, is it? Instead of saying, I saw this movie yesterday and I loved it. Like, oh, I read this book and it was fantastic. You know, I went to see this show and it just blew me away. Like, it's so much easier to say, oh, weather's not very good. Oh, I'm not feeling very well at the moment. Oh, I'm a bit tired today. That's easier. That seems to be easier because people have this sort of collective consciousness of negativity. But what it does is it just drags your energy down. It uses your energy, it uses up your resources, it uses up that valuable thinking space that you need to be able to move forward and drive yourself forward in your life. And your clients, they desperately need this at the moment because you can guarantee, and I can guarantee that if your clients have reached that point in their life where they've said, you know what, something needs to change, I need to hire a coach, I need to do something different, I need to change. The chances are they are engaging heavily within that collective consciousness of negativity. They're engaging a lot in that complaining and that energy draining form of communication. So what you're going to do is you are going to give them a way out. And that way out is a complaints fast. And you're going to say to them, right, this is it, this is a task. 1 week, 0 complaining. How much you desperately feel awkward because everybody else around the dinner table is talking about how shit the weather is. You don't do it. You don't do it. You just don't get engaged. You don't step into that zone. You hold back and it might feel awkward. It might feel uncomfortable. But you know what the beautiful thing is, what happens is slowly everyone else around you starts to also fall into that pattern. And you notice the complaints just slowly start to die down. And the vibe, that negative kind of drab vibe, slowly starts to die down and a space is created. And that space is there for something more constructive. And this is the key difference here. If something's not right, we're not asking you and we're not asking our clients to keep it in, right? Because we don't want to be doing that. We don't want to be holding on to any of that negativity. So here's the key. If for any reason we need to vocalize something that we don't like, that's not going right, we only do so if we have the intention to offer a solution. It's the only time we do it. We don't vocalize something just for the sake of complaining because that's a dead end. It's not going anywhere. So if something's not feeling right, if something isn't sitting well with you, if there is something that's worth complaining about, as it were, we do so, but we only do so with a sense that we are going to also find a solution. You might not have a solution in that moment, but your intention must be to try to find one and try to create one. And if you do that, what you'll find is you'll find that you will be constantly moving forward and driving forward in the right direction instead of staying very, very stuck where a lot of people stay. They stay stuck within this realm of complaint. They stay stuck within this realm of negative energy and there's nothing driving them forward and there's no solutions. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on a complaints fast. Us and our clients, we are going to completely remove complaining from our life for an entire week. And you know what? If you're 4 days in and then all of a sudden you find yourself complaining about something, just start again. Just start the week again. The mission here is to try to get to the end of an entire week, an entire 7 days without complaining about anything. And if there's something that we feel like we need to vocalize because it's not quite right and we need to change it, we must only vocalize it with the intention of finding a solution. If you go on this complaints fast, as difficult as it may be, I promise that you and your clients, after a successful complaints fast week, you will feel very, very different because a space would have been created for those positive solutions. So please do that and give that technique and that exercise to your clients.